Hello and welcome back. It is 12:15 p.m. on Sunday. We're going to do a SR redrawal today. Let me see what that is. Reward. We won't be redrawing on the pairs that are potentials or we're in because I don't do that. We're going to redraw on pairs. I mean, obviously, you don't want to redraw on pairs you're already in. But I also don't want to redraw on potentials because it can affect the outcome in a way I've found to be non-profitable. That's all that matters, right? This is you're only here for money, right? So let me get the sound off. There we go. So we're gonna go through the pairs and redraw everything today. Starting off here, I mean this range is that's a nice hit. Not much to say here. We're gonna have to see how it was a very nice breakout trade, and then we're gonna have to see how it develops from there. This piece of shit. We can try to draw on it. We can do our best. But when the best is useless, what is the point? Right, we can go back here. Okay, so we're seeing levels that are previously unknown. Let's make it smaller. Like that. It's still big, right? Yeah, it's still very big. We can try to do something here. So this is where it's at right now, and there's a previous level with it, but it's just trending up and breaking through it. So we can set the all-time high here. This is a one touch because it crashed down afterwards. And as for lows, I mean these are the obvious lows. So the highest double touch we can get around here, or probably if there's something connected to this. So maybe looking at this. Yes, that works. Not very well though, but it does. Regardless, the pair is not really tradable. Hasn't been for a little while. Here we saw some new highs, trending up very strongly, and we're gonna have to need some. We're gonna need some new levels. We don't need this at the bottom anymore. So this was double touch before, but this is going all the way back to 2009. So I don't know how much I trust those levels, but now at least we have something to look for in the range. This looks like it needs a complete redraw. Why is this hanging up like that? No. Like all of a sudden. So start at the bottom. I mean at the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter. If you want to start here, getting it down here. Check that you got a double touch. Yeah, that's fine. And then do the top. Newest information is always king. So we can see a touch here, but this has been touched, so we have to see what we can connect with new highs, right? This would be the obvious area right here, like that. So now we just have to do the in-betweens for the range. And here's the newest info for the range here, a touch there, and a touch here. And there's not much more to the range. No, now it looks a lot cleaner. We can try to adjust it a little bit to avoid inflation. Yeah, that works fine. Let me put that in here instead. Right there. Remove this. That should align nicely. Yes, it does. And there we go. We got a nice little range going on over here. Pretty solid range. This also looks like it could be completely redrawn. So this is the highest new touch for the range. And the bottom is very clear here. It's not as clear as the top because of the breakouts. Keep that in mind. And now we do the in-betweens. I mean, very obvious levels right here. Do you need to draw more? No, this looks alright. Alright, let's keep moving down. This is another one of those very strongly trending ones. There's not much to do with it right now. Nah, this is such a shit area now. You know, it would be better to get it down here like that. Or at least like here. This is still... Fuck it. Shit pair. Okay. This is held very, very nicely. So, nothing to redraw here. Same for this range, although it looks like it can be adjusted somewhat. I'm looking at this level right here, by the way. But it's not too relevant right now, so I'll just leave it be. But yeah. Okay. Also, if you've watched any of the news I've been posting in news, you can see that there's a lot of volatility going on. A lot. Which makes me think that January isn't going to be such a slow month at all. I think it's going to be pretty explosive. I don't know for sure though. So, I want them tighter to avoid any inflation. But Trump has deviated a lot from his original take when he was running in regards to foreign policy. He used to, run on no more foreign wars, no more nation building, none of this bullshit, right? But now he is talking about invading Iran. That's been very recent. They put out a notice for all Americans recently to leave Venezuela. He's already went and captured the president there, Maduro. And he might invade again. I have no idea. No one fucking knows. And that's volatility. So instead of it being America breakout here, very nice. America first, he has adopted the Israel first policy of taking up foreign wars for Israel. Can redraw all of this. So with this new Israel First program, we have seen Israel get saved, or perhaps not saved, but definitely carried, to use a gamer term. With the bombing of Iran, we don't need more than 2 areas here. And we know very well that Israel wants Iran gone, bombed to absolute fuckhole shit. They already bombed it once. They might do it again. Trump is threatening to do it. And he's coming for Greenland. He's threatened Colombia, Mexico. So the whole first term vibe of, we need to fix America. America first. Redoing all the trade deals. NAFTA, gone. Replaced. TPP, gone. Regulatory reform. The one in, three out. So when there was a new regulation introduced, they had to remove three. So what happened then was there was a lot of double regulation, double regulatory compliance cost regulations that basically did the same thing. That got thrown out, very old ones, outdated. So it cleaned up and made the whole process efficient. There was no legislative, huge regulatory reform in that sense. It wasn't like Dodd-Frank was removed. No, it was things that were just a regulatory burden. That was very good for the economy. There was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So income taxes were cut. Corporate taxes were sliced. There was many attempts at spending reforms to rein in the deficit. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember it, but you had the Obamacare repeal and replace with what they called Trump Care at the time. It would have cut spending enormously and reduced insurance costs and healthcare costs in America immensely. But it got voted down by the single. There was one vote, that's what I mean, that decided it, and that vote was in John McCain's hands. John McCain voted no. And because of that, it didn't go through. But there's a lot of focus on those types of things. Yeah. Let's see here. Regulatory policy, all that stuff. Taxes, regulations, trade, monetary policy, spending. It was all very nice. Now, it's a lot more outward oriented in his second term. So it sort of shifted from being more of a Reagan type presidency in his first term to more now of a Bush type presidency. Bush also had some tax cuts. They're looking at making the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is just lowering of some rates, income tax rates, permanent, and then rest. That's the same kind of shit Bush did, and then so big spending, big wars with some tax cuts. Not very sustainable, but great volatility. Moolah, bro. Let's see, we can draw on this. Yeah, but there's too much here. Let me redraw this completely. Let's see what we got. So there was a very strong reaction here, almost so that I want to just put one tip touch and let it live and let live, yeah? Okay. And it's here right now. Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Obvious levels here. That would be of notice. And you can draw them up. You can draw these if you want, but I don't need them to be drawn. I'll notice myself. I can draw here as well, but I'm not gonna do that. Oh yeah. It's a lot of stuff, but doesn't look like it needs to be redrawn. Range looks nice. And here, let's see what's going on. What the fuck is going on here? No, there's nothing much to do with this. The USD NOK seam here looking very nice. Okay, and gold. This one is hitting new all-time highs. That's cool. So we gotta move this. Singular touches with commodities. But this is a double one though, but a lot of single touches. You're gonna have to live with that. And oil. This is Redrawal oil. We've only had one, or no. How many oil trades did we have in 2025 for those 6 months? I think it was 2. It was not a lot. Gold isn't traded enormously much. There we go. That looks a lot better immediately. But this is the bottom range. Yeah. But oil moves quite differently. It's not traded that often, but I get really good trades from it when I do. And also, yeah, I forgot to mention Trump has been very involved in the Ukraine war. I remember when they first were campaigning of it, they were like, well, a territorial dispute in eastern Ukraine doesn't concern America or how Americans live. Now, all of a sudden, it's a huge thing. So it's been a huge neocon shift. And that is destabilization, massively. So not good for the economy. Very, very, very bad. But good for your economy. Because you're trading, right? So there we go. We've got a full redraw. Looks nice to me. It's gonna be, I'm expecting a lot of breakouts next week. I am considering the possibility of increasing my monthly max. I do this at times when there's very, very high volatility to 22.5%. But yeah, that's my, I never go above that, by the way. I never go above 10% in general, but that's my limit. But when you have these types of periods, I'll make an explanation. I'm not going to do it now, but if it fits certain criterias, it will unlock a new level, which is rare, very, very rare. Maybe once every 2-3 years, I get the chance. And we're into a second year. I didn't do it last year either, so maybe this is the time. We'll see. Regardless, I'm done trading. I'm done redrawing. That's all I've got for now. Feel free to hop in the Discord. Everything is free there, like I always mention. And you might have noticed there was no ads when you click this video. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm making money off trading. And there are no courses in there, no mentorships, no affiliates, no fucking prop trading. Nothing is monetized. There's nothing for sale. So if you want to hop in the Discord, feel free to join. A lot of good traders in there. Not just me. A lot of people have become profitable. I've been profitable for over a decade, but I'm an old man now. So with that said, I don't want to make it any longer because I know how the YouTube statistics works. Not statistics, diagnostics. There we go. Anyways, thank you for watching. That's all I got. Bye-bye.